Hey, everybody, welcome back to our Best of the Month, where we're going to be telling you about the best game we played last month and why we liked them so much. So here we go. I'm going to kick it off with my pick as the best game I played, brand new game to me, and that is Coffee Roaster. Coffee Roaster here is a pretty unique animal. It's a solitaire game, so you can only play with one. And it's got this strange coffee theme, which is, not something I see every day. And then it's a bag building game. So you throw, game bits in a bag, and you are going to be turn to turn. You're going to be reaching in the bag here and pulling out tokens and using some of them for specific actions, roasting others, which means the numbers go up. And then when you are ready, you do a cup test, and you pull out some tokens, and you see what you score on the secondary player board. Very unique game. I did a review of this if you want to hear a little bit more, but I thought it was pretty clever. It works very well. It was a little bit hard to learn, but once I got into it, I have really been enjoying it. So, thumbs up from me for Coffee Roaster, my game of the month.
Hi, everybody. My pick of the month is Team Play from Schmidt Games. This is a really simple card game that you play in partners. Basically, there's a deck made up of red and blue cards numbered 1 through 8, and you try to use these to complete goal cards for points. The way you do this is super simple. You draw some cards, you try to fulfill these goal cards that range in difficulty and point value, and then you can pass cards to your partner. But like Hanabi or the game, you can't really talk about what cards you have or what cards you want. So you have to pay attention to what's going on at the table at all times. What cards are your partner taking? What's their goal? What cards have your opponents played and what cards are they taking? And what are their goal cards? And it's surprisingly strategic to decide which goal cards you want to take versus which ones you want to pass on, depending on what your partner is working on. Now, I don't necessarily recommend this game at odd player counts. The variant just isn't as exciting as the partner play is. But if you have an even number of players, Team Play is an amazing, lightweight, interactive, engaging, quick card game. Check it out.
Howdy gamers, Indiana John here. And my pick for Best of the Month for May is a little game called Dr. Eureka from Blue Orange Games. This is a dexterity game where each player has 3 little plastic graduated cylinders, and you have plastic colored balls that you're pouring back and forth to try to match combinations that are on cards. And it's a speed game, so it's had kind of a mixed reaction to my game group because not everybody likes speed games, but if you do, then this can be a really, really fun game for you. It plays up to 4 players, but the way the game's designed, you can actually get multiple copies so you can have even more players. I actually took Suzanne's advice and bought 2 copies so I can play with up to 8. It's great for kids, great for adults, good for families. I'd highly recommend it. My pick for May, Dr. Eureka.
Hey guys, my best of the month is Prophecy of Dragons, the expansion for Time Stories. I'm not going to do every expansion for Time Stories, but this one was great. There's a ton of different things going on in this expansion that makes it awesome. I really like the fantasy theme, and this one just knocks it out of the park. The art in Time Stories overall is fantastic and amazing. So if you haven't tried out Time Stories, check it out. Prophecy of Dragons is actually one that I'm going to be using going forward to teach people how to play the game so they can still experience the base game if they're interested in getting the game for themselves. So for my group, Prophecy of Dragons.
Hey folks, welcome back to Blender's Best of the Month. This month was really difficult for me because there were 2 games that I really enjoyed playing this month. One was they're both brand new games. One was a little bit newer than the other one. It was called Dead of Winter, The Last Night. Now, I'm not going to showcase that one because while it is a new game and it is a standalone game, it's really kind of an expansion to a game that already exists. And I'm trying to stay in the theme of this whole Best of the Month and have it be a new, fresh game that's out there. So what I am going to showcase, the game that I am going to put in the spot of Best of the Month for me this month is this guy right here, Empires at Sea. Empires at Sea is a really neat game, and it kind of came out of surprise. It was a big box. We were like, oh, what are we supposed to do about this? Cracked it open. The rule book was okay, but boy, the gameplay is really fun. It's really simple, and it's historically thematic in such a way that it's not too much, not too little. It hits that sweet spot for me. It has a nautical theme to it. I'm kind of a sucker for nautically themed games anyway, so Empires at Sea is my best of the month for the month of May. We'll see you on the flip side.
The zombie invasion took everyone by surprise. Fortunately, some are prepared for the worst of all situations. Although, can anyone be truly prepared for streets and alleys choked with the Walking Dead? My pick this month is Wolfsburg, the expansion to Zombicide Black Plague. Wolfsburg is brought to you from Kumini or Not for 1 to 6 players, ages 13 and up. Playtime is around 60 minutes, but will vary based on the campaign and player count. The expansion offers 4 new survivors, along with additional player boards and markers, allowing you to expand your adventuring up to 10 survivors to take on all the new dangers. And you will need all the help you can get when dealing with the packs of ravenous zombie wolves, faster than even the runners, and you better hope the hulking wolf abomination doesn't show up. Wolfsburg also comes with several unique magic items to aid you in your quest. Most of these items are so powerful that survivors are only able to wield them once they reach a specific danger level. The expansion also includes 2 new tiles in the form of large towers you can climb. Zombicide Black Plague is my favorite of the series, and Wolfsburg really ups the danger level. I like the twist of playing with a possibly overused theme like zombies and putting them in a world of fantasy, swords, and magic. The game features fantastic miniatures, artwork, and possibly the best player character boards in the business. So give this one a look and beware what lurks in the dark.
Howdy folks, Rebecca and I once again have a unanimous decision on our game of the month. A few months ago we tried our first Stefan Feld game, Castle of Burgundy. We really enjoyed that game, so we decided to give his games another shot. And this time around we chose to try out Trajan. Trajan has a great Roman theme to it that Rebecca especially enjoys. It also has an interesting Mancala mechanism that you use to pick which actions you take on your turn. It has lots of different things you can do. You can go for votes, you can go for conquering lands. It's a great all-around game. I highly recommend, and so does Rebecca, Trajan, our game of the month.
So I've been eyeing this game for a while now, so it's no surprise that Compounded is my favorite this month. This game is all about being in a lab as a bunch of scientists and collecting a bunch of elements and creating compounds out of them. Or, more simply put, grabbing from a bag a collection of gems and creating beautiful patterns. This game is really fun, and more than likely I'll be creating a craft from this in the future.
So my best of the month is a game from GMT. It's called Triumph and Tragedy. I got to play this for the first time this month, and it is a wonderful game. It is different than most GMT games, because when you think GMT, you think a bunch of chits on a board, but this one actually has fog of war with wooden blocks, and your blocks have different components where as you take damage, you rotate the block to the 3-side or the 2-side or 1-side to show how much strength you have in the block. But of course, your opponent doesn't know what you have, so it does the whole thing like what Stratego did back in the day, but it's obviously a much more advanced game than Stratego because it deals with you're playing cards to move your troops, to do things, to gain influence around the world. And it's a very unique game because it's a 3-player game where one person is Britain, one person is Russia, and one person is Germany. And you have a balance of power 3 ways, so you can't just attack one person in this game because you need to worry about 2 different people, because if you go all out on one person, the other person is going to slide in. It's a very, very good game. I love the hidden movement, hidden block mechanic of it, and it's one that I would highly recommend. That's GMT's Triumph and Tragedy.
Hi there folks, it's Ilia from Virtual Reviews, and as you have noticed, we haven't been active for a while. We just didn't have enough time to play and review games. We played only twice in May, and both times were new games. And I didn't want to pick any one games, so I will just mention these 2 really cool games. The first one is Tale of Merchants. It's a small card game, deck builder with neat set collection aspect and really cool artwork. And what I like here is that the animal folks have different decks, and the decks play really differently, and you don't choose all the decks at once in every game. You will choose some of them, you will mix them together, and every game will have a really high replayability because you have different combinations of decks there. So really cool game from Sami Laakso, and it's Tale of Merchants. So the second game is a bigger one. It's Happy Peaks. As you can see, this cover is really cute, and the game itself is a quite brain-burning economy game where you are raising and selling pigs. And I like this cute artwork. And I don't really like economy games, but this one is different. The rules are really simple. The game is straightforward. It's a clean design. There's nothing really difficult. The difficulty is inside the logic that you need to accomplish when you want to, if you want to win in this game. So Happy Peaks, a really cool game. I really recommend this too. So Dale of Merchants, Happy Peaks, check them out. These are my best games of May.
My game of the month is Mystic Vale. Now this one's not coming out for a couple months yet, so I got an early copy of it. I'm very fortunate that this is a card crafting game. And this game gave me chills the same way Dominion did the first time I played it, where I'm putting cards together. And I love that concept. As I said in my review, which you can see last week, the game is kind of themeless, but I don't care because it's all about, what's the best way to put these cards together? Do I want to make super cards, or do I want to have a whole lot of cards? And there's also a push your luck element to it, and I love push your luck. So this combination is great. It finally uses clear cards in a good game, which I think is the first time I've ever said that. So very excited about this one from AEG, Mystic Vale.
And that's it for us, everybody. I hope you found at least one new game that you had not heard about that piqued your interest, something you can look into it and maybe discover a new favorite. So, as always, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next month on another one of these Best of the Month videos. See you.